Hello guys. I am just going to mess with this a little bit. I don't know what's going on. Okay, I'm just trying to see if this is working. Okay, just want to make sure it's working. I'm just gonna wait a couple of minutes to see if some people hop on, and then we'll get started. But in the meantime, what I will say is that as people are hopping in, please say hi. I can't always see who's joining as I'm doing this, so just pop in the comments and say hi. If you have questions or comments while I'm talking, feel free to put them in. I'm going to wait until the end to actually go through them and answer them. Make sure that it helps me keep my train of thought in like one place, because I'm very like scatterbrained sometimes, and then I just lose track of what I was saying before, and I don't want to do that today because this is really, really important. And excuse me. And I really want to make sure that I kind of get everything out that I want to today. So I'm just gonna, I think it's been a couple of minutes, I think. Yeah. So excuse me. Okay, so I posted yesterday, I think, on my personal Facebook page about, just to kind of gauge out of the people that see my posts, if what's going on with the political climate right now, particularly in the United States, but it's affecting everybody because there's protests around the world about this, and everything that the United States does affect other countries on the entire planet. And I just, it was kind of an offhand post, because I was like, I really didn't expect anybody to answer it, because people don't like talking about their mental health. That's still something that I work on, where I kind of bring it up a lot to kind of get people comfortable with talking about it openly. But I did get a few responses. I know a lot of people saw the post, but there were some courageous ones who commented, and this is affecting people in different ways. For me personally, I've noticed that my anxiety is much higher in the morning. Every time I wake up, I'm like, this morning, I know I looked at the Twitter icon and I was like, do I even want to open it today? Because it seems like each day when you wake up, it's like some other thing happened. And like, it's a big thing. Like, it's not something small that you can just be like, okay, I don't need to worry about this one today. No, it's like every day there is like one or two, three big things that happen, and they're affecting all of us, whether you choose to acknowledge that or not. And it gets really hard, especially when it's like, for me, it's addictive. Like, I just kind of get pulled into this thing because I find politics fascinating, not in the sense that it's so much that a system that works, but it's because it's a system that doesn't work. It's a system that doesn't have everybody's best interest at heart. So I tend to find messed up systems very, very interesting as a scientist and a doctor. Like, this, what I learn is systems, and what I help with is systems. So it's like, for me, it's just like watching a train wreck in slow motion. I'm just trying to see like what's going on and why it's happening. So for me, it becomes like, it's this push and pull where I have to kind of find a balance between being informed, but also understanding that there's a limit to how much I can take on before I start just, it starts to affect me, my energy, and how I show up for my life. Now, one thing I want to kind of get off my chest right off the bat: there is no neutral in this fight. If you're saying that you're neutral, you are on the other side. You are on the side of the problem. Like, I posted this on, I think it was Sunday or Monday. And it was a post that I said right off the bat that if you feel triggered by it, if you feel angry by what I'm saying, if you feel in any sort of way that is negative, like, I told people to, like, just get me off your list. There's no reason for you to be seeing what I post, because our energies are just not a match, and I'm like pruning my trees. It's like, I'm not dealing with it. But what I said in the post was that there's two sides to this current argument. There is the problem and there is the solution, and you have to pick a side. And neutral is picking the side of the problem. Because if you say you're neutral, you were speaking from a place of privilege. This is actually, I saw this in somebody else's live stream yesterday, and I thought it was just, she phrased it so well, so I'm just going to kind of borrow that. It was Lindsay Padilla, if anybody's interested in checking her out. But she made a very good point, and I personally, I have like a mixed feelings about the word privilege, because I think I kind of fall in both camps where yes, I am affected kind of, and on the other side, I did have the luxury of being able to wait 10 days before I commented on anything, before I said anything out loud. And if you're saying that you are neutral, you are on the side of privilege. If that pisses you off, perfectly fine. You can either examine as to why that's triggering you, or you can unlike this page and find stuff that will not do that for you. Perfectly fine. But my position as to what I do and how I help other people is that I need you to feel some sort of way in order to, because otherwise you're not going to make a change. You're going to be repeating the same patterns you're doing right now. If you want to get to any place better, you have to feel some sort of way in the way you are now, whether that's politically or even in your own life in any way, in order to move forward. So this stuff affects everybody. Whether it directly affects you or not is irrelevant. If it's affecting another human, from my point of view, that's something that requires some sort of action on your part to help solve the problem. Even if it is just making people aware of what is going on. And now, again, this comes back to the mental health portion where it's like, yes, I understand that I have this obligation, because I really am working very hard to make sure that I am not operating from a place of privilege. And I have never been politically active until now. And at the same time, I understand that this reality doesn't actually affect any of us. We're not victims to what is happening, but at the same time, it is affecting some people. It is affecting some humans on this planet. So if it's affecting another human, it's affecting me. Because my basic principle that I've learned from the last 2 weeks of this mess that's been going on is I've understood and gotten very clear in what I stand for. And above all else, I stand for love. And it's something that I've known about myself since I was a kid, and now it's kind of coming to the forefront, and I have to now stand in that place and hold that space for other people to understand that this is about love. So whether or not I have family that's affected by the ban, or whether or not I'm directly affected by having oil spilling into my water, that's irrelevant. There are other humans who are getting affected by that, and because I love all humans, it is my responsibility from that place of love to help them in any way I can. Now, we all have a part in this. We all have a role in what's going on right now. Whether you choose to acknowledge it or not, you have a role. And for me, I have to detach myself from this current reality, because I know for me, personally, if I get too wrapped up into it, because some people may think I'm pretty wrapped up in it right now, it'll get worse. I can definitely allow it to get worse, and I'm working really hard to not allow that, because I need to detach myself so I can hold space for what I believe the world can look like, which is a world that doesn't look like any of the construct that we've ever experienced. It's a completely different world. So the announcement, what am I doing? And another way I want to help people is that in the spirit of love, and this is officially February now, so with Valentine's Day, and it's the month of love and all about love, I'm going to be doing love prompts. And I'm going to be doing them in my Facebook group. The link's in my cover photo, the Courageous Mental Health Mastermind. And starting tomorrow, every day for the rest of the month, at 11 Central, 12 Eastern, I'm going to be doing a live stream that's going to help. If you are feeling any sort of way about what is going on right now, either you're feeling out of control, or you're feeling despondent, hopeless, angry, frustrated, or just confused as to what to do. How can I do this? I want to create something. I wanted to create something that would help people just kind of find some sort of peace in all this mess. And that may seem like, for some people who are new to this sort of thing, it may seem almost naive to feel, to look for peace in a time where it feels like everything's falling apart. But you can, because peace is within you. It has not dependent on anything outside of you. And that's the biggest thing I teach my clients, is that you are not a victim in any way, shape, or form. Whether you believe that or not is irrelevant. But once you recognize that and you start to believe it, you will start to act like an empowered person. And what's going on right now is really a reflection of the victimization that we've all felt at some way, at some point in our lives. This is a collective victimization that's coming to the surface. And I understand why it needs to come up here, because it cannot be cleared, it cannot transform into something else, into love, unless it's recognized for where it is right now. And yes, it hurts. It hurts to see that there are so many people who hate each other for no other reason than your skin color is different than theirs. They hate you because you believe in a different God than they do, when every religion has the same basis, which is God is love, and that's the end of it. How you choose to represent that is what changes from religion to religion, but at the core of it is God is love. So if you act in love, you then believe in God. That's it. But we are hating each other because whether it's Christian or Islam or Judaism, like Buddhist, Taoist, I don't care. But like, there's just so much of this grossness and anger that has to come out, and it's necessary to come out. And that's why, like, for empaths and intuitives and anybody with some sort of mental health condition, you're going to feel bombarded by this. You're going to feel just immensely triggered and drained by all of this. That's a good thing. Because if you feel nothing, that's a problem. That means you've closed yourself off from feeling anything, because if you can't feel bad, you also cannot feel good. They come hand in hand, man. So what I wanted to do was really create a space for a lot of love, a lot of self-compassion, and really to help us every day create, focus on what matters, which is loving everybody, loving everything, even the bad. That's going to be something we're going to be going into as we start this tomorrow. But definitely what I wanted to like share, this is going to be the month of love, and it's going to be going on in my Facebook group, Courageous Mental Health Mastermind. The link is in my cover photo, and I'll also put the link in the description for this video. And I'm just looking at my notes, guys, that's why I'm like going up and down. But what I really advise everybody to do right now is, before we get started with this tomorrow, is to really understand what it is that you stand for. Because sometimes we do have to be confronted by what we hate in order to understand what it is that we love. You know, that works, it works that way for a lot of things. And you know, you can't know the kind of car you like unless you've tried, you know, unless you know what kind of cars you definitely don't like. You know, food is the same thing. You can't know what you like unless, you know, anything you like. In this time, you just want to understand what it is that you stand for. And for me and my people in my tribe, I really want to hold space for love. So starting tomorrow is going to be the month of love in my Facebook group, Courageous Mental Health Mastermind. And every day at noon Eastern, 11 Central, is going to be a live stream where it's going to be short. I know this one's going a little long because I'm explaining everything, but I'm going to make it a very, I'm going to make a very conscious effort to keep it very short, hopefully under 10 minutes, closer to 5 if I can, but I talk a lot, so there's always that thing. And I'm just going to be sharing love prompts. How is it that you can spread love that day and create a space of positivity in all this mess? Because because what you focus on expands. So if we focus on everything that is going on right now, and this does not mean that we are not aware of everything that is going on. This does not mean that we are not active in whatever capacity you want to be active in the climate, that like in changing what is going on. That is not what this means. But it means coming from a place of love. And you cannot create that if you're just constantly feeling hateful and triggered and angry by everything that's going on. And I want to make sure that I create a space where everyone for a little while can feel and tap into that love, the love that they can feel. And then make sure that we're acting from that space so that when the change comes, it's for the betterment of everybody. Because this is not about you versus me. This is not about the US versus other countries. This is a unifying experience. And in order for it to be that, it can be a unifying experience. But in order to facilitate that, we have to come from a space of love and instead of trying to prove other people wrong. Like we tried that already. We did that for a year and a half before the election. It didn't prove anything. It didn't help anybody. So now we really do have to counteract all this hate and all this fear with a truckload of love. And that's really the point of what the month of love is going to be in my group. So if you guys have any questions after watching this, please feel free to put them in the comments. There's nothing here right now, I don't think. Oops. But any questions you guys have, feel free to pop them in. I will obviously answer them. And if you want to join the group, the link will be in the description of this video, and it's also in the cover photo. But otherwise, I really hoped that all of you will join me. And other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.